Hello everybody, welcome to this vlog. My name is Satya. Today I will be discussing source address selection algorithm for IPv4 and IPv6 stack. So I will quickly go to the diagram. So as part of the LAN host here described PC LAN host 1 and PC LAN host 2 both have IPv4 and IPv6 addresses configured from the residential router, right? So now which address to choose, for example for IPv4 stack or IPv6 stack? So that is basically determined by these two algorithms. So source address selection algorithm IPv4 chooses source address using routing table and an interface mapped to destination prefix. For example, if you want to access www.google.com, first, as discussed in the previous videos, it will do the DNS query for to resolve www.google.com to an IPv4 or IPv6 address. Right? Depending upon the answer, if you get both IPv4 and IPv6 as the destination addresses, so then if IPv4 stack is triggered, right, so as part of the application it's saying only to use IPv4 stack, then it will go to the routing table and understand the interface to which the destination IPv4 address that is got from DNS response is mapped to, right? Only it will take the interface associated and send the packet. Now how the source address is chosen is the source address mapped to that interface, right? That source address will be used as the address for source in sending a packet to that IPv4 address. So it is based on the routing table, the source address selection in IPv4. But the challenge of, if for example you got both IPv4 and IPv6 and the application said choose IPv6, then it has to follow the RFC 3484 and RFC 6724 specifications for choosing the source address, right? So how it happens I will explain now. When a DNS response contains an IPv6 address and the application on the PC LAN host 1 or LAN host 2 says that use IPv6 address, then it will see what is the scope of the destination prefix. If it is link local scope, then it will use link local address for communicating to the destination address that is obtained from the DNS response. If the scope is global, then it will use a global IPv6 address mapped to that particular interface, right? So this is how it is based on the source address algorithm RFC 3484 and RFC 6724 to choose a particular IPv6 address. As we have more than one IPv6 address, it has to be more properly chosen, right, the source address when sending a packet to the destination, right? I'll quickly show the window where I have command prompt. So as part of this, now the Ethernet link is removed, right? So that's why Ethernet adapter is not showing any IPv4 address, but wireless LAN Wi-Fi has this many addresses, right? So as seen here, if, as I told, if the response of the DNS query packet in the DNS response you get an IPv6 address and the scope is link local, then this address will be chosen for communicating. If the scope is global, then IPv6 address, global address will be chosen, right? If the application says choose IPv4 stack for communicating, then this address will be used for communicating to the IPv4 address obtained from the DNS server, right? I have already discussed about NAT. This IP address will not be reachable from the ISP backbone. It has to be NATed and a public IP address will be mapped to it in the residential router, right? So this is in a nutshell how the source address is chosen when you are communicating to a particular destination address, right? So this is what I wanted to discuss as part of this vlog. So if you want to know more about specificities of source address algorithm, please put a comment and like the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.